Black power to the people, black power to the people. This is Underground Warrior TV. This is your first time coming to my channel. Please match up the likes, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification button so you'll be in the crosshairs every time I drop one of these videos. Fam, I am a Pan African. So wherever there's a crisis or where African people suffer, I feel the connection. I feel that bonding. So it's a must that we speak on these particular situations that I'm about to speak on. We got to inform our people. No matter where we go, we always gonna be hated by the other people, our counterpart. How come we just can't get together and love one another and build with each other as a people? We always go where we not wanted. I don't like going nowhere where I'm not wanted. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to invade upon no one's privacy or no one's um, space. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have to shop at your mall. I can get with my people. We can build us a mall. We can build us a store. We can build restaurants. But we so afraid to unify as a people. But I recognize a Pan-African movement is the only movement that's relevant, that's going to bring our people together and galvanize our people. You feel what I'm saying? So we got to report out of Africa. Tunisia. Tunisia. The president of Tunisia, which is a Caucasian white man. You feel what I'm saying? He wants to dispel the Africans about a land which in ancient times did belong to Africans. And we have to go back in history and find out why the Africans don't rule that land till today. They don't rule that land today because in ancient time the Roman Greco people conquered that land. You had three wars that were fought between the Romans and the Carthage people. The Carthage people are the people of Tunisia, which was inhabited by black people, African people. True indeed. But now we had this Greco, half Greek, Roman, Italian people who call themselves Arabs now inhabit that land. Yes, the president, uh, Kassai, Kassai, uh, is a white man, and he's calling for the explosion of the sub-Saharan immigrants. Now you know he the real immigrant. I just told you that they conquered. The Arabs conquered Tunisian Tunisia right around about the 7th century, the 7th to the 10th century. But when their fathers and their cousins, I call them the Roman Greco people, they conquered it in 143 BC. Now keep in mind, Carthage had a general by the name of Hannibal, a black man who conquered Rome twice, 2000 BC. He rode to Rome on elephants. He had an army of black people who was on elephants conquering and defeating the Roman boys. So these wars kept going on and on and on. They finally conquered, the Roman Greco people finally conquered what you call Tunisia today. But it was the Carthaginian War or the Punic Wars. You just got to go back and study your history. This was an African land, but now in 2023, we got Europeans living in this particular area. But I just want to clear the smoke and clear the air that this was African land. This is sub-Saharan Africa. Anyway, they wanted to expel uh, African immigrants, framing immigrants to Tunisia from other parts of Africa as being a part of effort to initiate demo, demographic, demographic change in the country, demographic change in the country, demographic change in the country. So he's saying that the more African immigrants that come into Tunisia, it will it would genetically turn all black. And they blaming all the crime on the Africans. So guess what's happening? Some citizens and some militant white groups over there are singling Africans out. They showing video of these people being beaten and sought out by citizens and the government of Tunisia. You feel what I'm saying?
All video content are used for fair use purposes for educational purpose only.
There's been a steady flow of taxis leaving the Ivorian embassy in Tunis over the last few days, and most of their passengers all share the same goal: repatriation. Many say they no longer feel safe in Tunisia.
At the moment, the situation is that we are being asked to leave Tunisia. We are worried because every day there are attacks against our fellow compatriots.
Landlords are kicking us out. We are beaten and mistreated. For more security, we prefer to come to our embassy to register to return to Ivory Coast.
Many illegal African migrants from the Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Ghana and Guinea come to Tunisia to work badly paid informal jobs in an attempt to one day reach Italy. But over the last few weeks, their circumstances have changed. There's been a wave of arrests amongst black African migrants. On Tuesday, President Kais Saied told his security forces to stop all illegal migration, accusing them of being a part of a wider plot to change the country's demographics. Critics have accused the president of being openly racist, and migrant associations say he's promoting a climate of fear.
The words of the statement really triggered a psychosis within the community. The sub-Saharan community felt abandoned. It felt like a mob simply because of the hate speech that has been circulating on social media for a long time.
The president has denied his speech was racist, but many remain unconvinced. Hundreds of people took to the streets to protest the new measures. The African Union has urged Saied to avoid racialized hate speech. But for a country that prides itself on being welcoming to foreigners, there's no doubt life is getting harder for black Africans in Tunisia. Daniel Padwick, TRT World.
Now, fam, you see how they treat us around the globe. You see how the mistreatment of Africans at the hands of they once slave masters, because we know the Arabs enslaved the Africans too. So it's a shame that African leaders have failed the youth of our people in Africa. Why? Because some African leaders bend over backwards for white supremacy to rule and colonize the land. African leaders, you're the reason why that Africans have to leave their geographical location to go somewhere else to be treated like animals. The president of Tunisia is afraid of a black planet. He knows about the genetics capability of black people. No matter where we at, we will over dominate because we got the dominant gene on the planet. This is about population control, making sure that black people don't populate in Tunisia. And Tunisian is a black country first. You're just a settler. You are an imposter. But African leaders who bent over backwards, who's in debt to white people in Europe, you cannot provide a stable job, economy for the young because you're bending over backwards and letting the white boy have the diamond mines, letting the white boy have the gold. It's reported that black people can't even grow food to feed Africa. All the food that's grown in Africa is imported. The goods are exported to Europe and then imported back into Africa for a price. What kind of crap is that? I heard when Africans try to feed the nation with its own crops, they set them up for assassination. That's an excuse. If we're going to die, at least die standing up to these white people. They can't kill us all. Why in the hell are Africans are treated like immigrants in a country in which they inhabited in the ancient times? And when they get to these particular places, they ruled by the colonizers of these lands, and these people are treated, and all they trying to do is, treated, mistreated like animals. All these people are doing is trying to, find a place to get a place to get a financial ground, trying to get a job, trying to be economically inclined, not a lazy people, but a people who like to work for a living. They say black people lazy. How are black people lazy? And they go to these Arab countries to work, and while they work, they've been harassed. They shouldn't have to leave the continent of Africa to find a job. Africa has no excuse for the abuse that the young generation receive. Africa have all the resources everybody else wants. As Africa goes, the Western world goes. Those diamond mines need to be controlled by the Africans. White people want the diamonds and the gold. You have to pay a price. You got to kick those people up out of there. And if you die at that cost, so what? I'd rather die standing up. I'd rather die standing up. Stop bowing over and teaching your kids to bow down to white supremacy and get rid of white Jesus out of Africa. Get rid of religion out of Africa. What is that racist, self-hate group, Muslim, Haram, Boko Haram is working for a white entity. Go around killing brothers and sisters in the name of religion, Islam. That's why I was telling black people in America, you mixed up. You want to be Indian, you want to be white, you want to be anything else but black. You don't even want to be called black. You're the most disagreeable people on the planet. You want to be the slave master. That effect is all the way around the planet. So I understand when some Africans in Africa don't like African Americans, and African Americans don't like Africa. Niggas don't like niggas. You see what I'm saying? So, I fought the African leaders for the mistreatment over in a racist country that is racist. You send your young generation out to go find a job, and they can't get a job with the side They location. I gotta go somewhere else to get a job. You know, you failed them. African leaders bending over backwards for your slave master. I just showed you a video how, you know, your kind is being mistreated. How our people being mistreated. But you rather bend over backwards, you in debt to the slave master, IMF banks. You know, nobody has the courage to break away from the European and kick the Europeans out. Tell the Europeans we done. We rather die. They can't kill us all. You know, how we gonna leave this earth as great men and women, and we can't stand up and fight for the youth. We gotta send the youth out to Tunisia. You know, Saudi Arabia. I hear stories about women getting killed in Saudi Arabia who leaving Africa trying to go to work. They've been sexually harassed and hung and killed. Ain't nobody saying nothing. That's why Pan African. That's the only thing I could see to unite the people, man. Because no matter what you belong to, as far as your religion, denomination, doesn't count. As long as we got one goal in mind, is to free our people. You know. One brother said he was going back to the Ivory Coast or the Ivory, wherever he was trying to get to back in Africa from Tunisia in the interview. He shouldn't have to leave. He should be able to get a job right there and be able to help his people. Africa got all the resources everybody needs. We don't even have to name the resources. That ground is vital, forever vital. They got untapped resources of grounds that haven't even been tapped into yet. You know what I'm saying? I would love to go to Ghana and find me a gold mine. Buy some land with gold on it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to make the gold work for the people. How the hell you the richest continent on the planet and your people starving because you bent over backwards for who? The white man don't want nobody else to have nothing but himself. That's why he keep the economic playing field at a disadvantage for darker people on the earth. Fuck him. Stand up. We're going to die anyway. Die standing up. Peace and black power, Pan-Africanism. Y'all mash up these likes, man, and share this video. Subscribe to my channel. Peace and black power.